Before we get started, I want to remind the audience that you cannot speak until we recognize you or give you the opportunity at the end of the meeting to do that. So I just want to remind that, and no talking or anything like that while we're conducting business. So with that being said, 7 o'clock, so we'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. First item is pledge allegiance. Everybody stand. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, the first item is approval of the July minutes. I'll take a motion.
I make a motion to approve the July 2021 meetings
Okay.
minutes.
All right, do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? If not, all in favor? Okay. Next item is the approval of June and July. There's questions in June on some items I think have been corrected. Everybody should have got the financial statement ahead of time and answered it, questions being asked. So do I entertain a motion to accept the June and July financial report?
Well, there was questions asked yesterday.
Was there questions asked yesterday? No, I was talking about in the June.
Oh, for
June,
last month.
yeah.
Yes,
So
Yeah,
we
the last
moved them.
meeting.
We
Yeah.
moved it.
Okay.
So we didn't approve them, so now we're approving June and July at this meeting.
So I looked at the ones that I had from the previous 3 months, and I see that Cheryl has added from 4:30 to 5:30, but the numbers are different from what we approved, not last month, but the 2 months before. So she's went back and looked at the corrections. So is that going to be an issue? Because we approved those minutes for
Okay.
not last month, but the 2 previous months. In this past month, we've corrected them, and they're different figures from what we approved.
No, we didn't, we didn't approve.
We didn't approve them
them
last
in
month.
June.
You're correct, not last month. We approved them the previous months before, and you've made the corrections as far back as January, February, March, April, right there.
Well, we can't go back to that because you already approved them. All we're approving is June and July. Everything else has already been approved,
Yes, sir.
so.
And so that
So-
everybody knows, the mistake I made was there was an entry in June, and when it was one that had to be hand entered, and instead of putting it down as 6/16, it was 5/16. So that bumped it up to the May ledger, which changed the bottom line in May.
Yes, I agree, but why are we seeing as far back as April for these?
Okay,
If you know, it
All
was
right,
for
hold
May,
on,
you
hold
had
on.
questioned May. I printed off May because that's what I had to change.
This is April.
So, right, no, it's April 30th to May 30th.
Okay, all right. Okay, I'll give you that. All right, so.
okay, now, hold on, we're not going through this again. Now, the purpose of y'all getting this ahead of time.
I wouldn't approve
Yes.
these minutes. I wouldn't approve this financial statement. I
Okay.
think we need a work session to look from the beginning of the year and walk it all the way back
Okay.
up for financials.
So I'll entertain a motion to accept the June and July minutes, or financial report.
I wouldn't accept it.
Well, it's not
Well,
just
they
that
matched with
year.
the register and all bank accounts were reconciled.
I absolutely believe that. I think we need a motion to do a work session to look at financials from the beginning of 2021 till today. So I don't feel comfortable with it.
I have a question.
No, don't start. So we're heading down this road again because you should have brought this question up prior to this meeting. You know, and we, you know, and I think it's ridiculous that we're already in August and you're bringing this up back in May. You know, so,
I'm telling you, the math doesn't add up from what we approved. I
Okay.
have all the statements from the first of the year. The math does not add up.
okay. All right, but you should have brought that up before.
I got them
now.
yesterday. I can't review all
No,
that.
sir.
Or you got it, I'm sorry, the day before, I apologize.
No, sir, I sent them last Friday, late Friday nights when I sent them. Did I not?
Anybody else?
When did y'all get them? Because I stayed late to make sure they were sent out, so you've had them a week.
But this is gonna stop. I mean, you know, we're back in August and we should have figured this out before if y'all had a problem. Now, you know, this is.
The corrections
Yeah.
that have been made,
There was only one correction, James. And I don't appreciate you waiting to try to embarrass me in front of these people when all you had to do was pick up the phone
I'm not,
and ask me
Cheryl,
a question and I would have printed it out for
Cheryl,
you.
please don't raise your voice at me at
Okay,
all,
right, all right.
okay? You are the town clerk. You have no say on this board.
I have a say as you
You have
asking me
no
questions.
say
All right,
on this
all right.
board.
Come-
It's a bottom line.
Order. Okay. She might not be on the board, but she is responsible for a lot of the paperwork and calling and the financing and
That's not what we're
everything.
discussing.
So anyway,
Discussing financials.
so anybody gonna make a motion to accept these financial reports?
They don't add up. You need a work
I'm
session to go
asking-
through it.
I'm asking somebody, so.
You need to do diligence for your town and the finances. They're not correct.
So does anybody else have a question?
Every one of these, the
Oh,
beginning and
oh.
ending balance match.
Well, I just noticed, and your latest ones probably did match, but to James's point, we went back further on stuff, you went back further on stuff that we've already approved and changed it all.
No, okay, let me explain what I did.
And
It
it's like an
says-
$8,000 discrepancy on
Okay.
the last
All right.
one from what it was originally.
So we'll move
All right,
this over
Hang
to,
on, I want to explain this. The reason I went back to April the 30th to May 30th was because the month of May was when I made the mistake. So I wanted you to see that I had corrected it.
I don't see how the month of
When-
May could
Okay.
have made the mistake.
When
in the
I-
quarter
when you-
July.
order.
I'll show you after.
All
the
right,
meeting.
order. Okay, we're gonna move on. Okay, next item in the old business is annexing
And I
parcel
don't think
number.
it's funny, Tony.
I don't think it's funny either. You know what?
Okay.
I emailed trying to get answers and questions done. Nobody would answer my email.
Order. All right, annexing of parcel number 020A026. It's property owned by Talking Rock Investments Property. We talked about it last month. Cheryl didn't have the parcel number. We got the parcel number. We talked about it. It's the 118 acres just north of town. So do I have a motion to annex this property into town authority?
What are they doing with the property?
Annexing the property in. We talked about it last month. It's 118 acres that Candy and Christine owns and wants to annex in, north of town. Right there to the curve.
Across from where
Huh?
I'm, across from where I
Yeah.
live.
Yeah.
Right. Do you know where we live?
Yeah, I know where she's.
So do I have a motion?
I make a motion to accept the annexation of the parcel number 020A026.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor? Okay. James, or did you vote on it?
No.
Okay.
You gonna ask for opposed?
All opposed? Okay. Okay, next item is the moving storage building. Cheryl finally found a company that was supposed to move it today and had truck trouble. They didn't. Well, they had truck trouble, so they didn't. So Saturday is they're supposed to move the building, hopefully. Like I said, you know, we're discretion with them. Next item is,
Andy, one thing on that one. According to the guy, first guy that was 3,200, I could not get him back on the phone to commit. So I kept calling for about 2 hours, the guy that's gonna do it. He figures that it, without any problems, it should be less than $1,000. And we don't need a motion because you already approved 3,200.
okay. All right, next item is event permits and fees and comments on the draft. Did y'all, anybody look at that?
Well, I mean, I looked at it and I think the first thing we need to do is understand what we need to have a permit for. I mean, I think we need to have a set of rules of why you need a permit to begin with, and then we can make a permit. I mean, the draft we had like dirigibles and motorized floats. I don't think we have to worry about that, but I think we need to know what we're gonna need a permit for and then go from there.
Well, I mean, I didn't think we were gonna need a permit for a road race either, but, you know, we did.
Well, maybe we do.
You know, so if y'all want more time for that, and work session on that, that'd be fine. We can move
Yeah,
on
well,
with
'cause I
that.
got some stuff that I can send, but it's all pretty much telling you what you need a permit for, not necessarily what the fees would be or anything like that. And I can send it to you or whatever.
Okay.
And there doesn't necessarily have to be a fee. Just because some other town charges a fee doesn't mean that we do. It's just a way of keeping records so that
Well,
you don't
I
have
think-
5 road races going on in one day.
If it, you know, passes certain criteria that, you know, that there should be a fee. But anyway, I'll kind of research it, I'll send it to you, and maybe we can look at it next month.
All right, so
You
the
need to
next,
send, you need to send it to the mayor, not the town clerk, to the mayor.
all right, so anyway, the flood grant update. All right.
We had been trying to get back on the federal and Department of Natural Resources flood grant program so that people like Melissa could go and actually get flood insurance. And I got the final documentation today, or well, yesterday I believe it was, that we have been approved and we have our number to give out to anybody that needs flood insurance to take to your insurance company. And I've already given it to Melissa.
Okay. Okay, and this is informational, Georgia DOT Road permits required. I think everybody got that letter from DOT, proper channel. Done the code section on the road code. You know, anytime you do a road closure or any flagging or anything like that, that you have to do a written request and to that department to get a permit to do that. So are there any other questions on that? Did everybody get that letter?
I don't know, probably.
I can give you a copy if you want.
Yeah.
I emailed it out to everybody, but you
I
didn't have
probably
it.
did, but
I don't mind sending it again or just giving you a copy.
Okay. All right, the pavilion drain, over there got, filled in during the flood. The flood, actually FEMA's going to, actually, pay for that, but like I say, we'll have to come out of pocket for that. We did get some of it unstopped and everything. It's the corrugated pipe. It's not the smooth board inside, so that's why it's, but all that, flooding and stuff washed in a bunch of pea gravel and got stopped up, but we're still in the process on that. Okay, resolution to open a bank account for American Recovery Fund plan. Basically, that's we're supposed to get $26,000, I believe it is. We got 13,000. We're supposed to be getting another, the other sometime or other. But they still have not told us how we can spend this money. I mean,
For sure.
So we can't spend any of that money, but it has to go in a separate account. It can't be mixed up with any other accounts. So it has to be separate. So y'all should have a resolution there. Whereas the regular town council meeting of Town of Talking Rock held on August 5th, 2021, the following resolution was introduced and adopted. Whereas per the U.S. Department of the Treasury and the Georgia Department of Affairs, all American Rescue Plan funds received must be held in a special revenue fund reserved exclusively for those funds. Whereas the town of Talking Rock intends to comply with this all requirements of eligibility for the funds, does hereby approve the opening of a separate bank account exclusively for ARP funds. Now therefore be it resolved by the governing body of the town of Talking Rock that the approval and authorization signatures of the special revenue fund with Community Bank of Pickens County with Mayor Randy Banks, Councilman Jeremy Stone, and Town Clerk Cheryl Sounds as signatures. So do I have a motion to authorize the opening of the account?
It is a requirement. You cannot commingle the funds. And Randy has the letter from Department of
All right, we
Communications.
have a motion, we have a second.
I second it.
We have a motion second. All in favor? All those opposed? All right. So the next item was approval of new plat for parcel number 011018 owned by Wildcat Timber. Basically, they're splitting that track in two, getting it ready for sale. They're not trying to rezone or anything, but they're splitting it up to sell it. So I have a motion to approve for the new plat. Did everybody receive that plat?
It's in your packet.
That's this one. And they're just dividing it?
Yes. They're not rezoning or anything, they're dividing it to sell. So I ask again, do I have a motion to approve this plat?
I make a motion to
Okay.
approve the plat.
Okay, we got a motion, we got a second. We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor? All opposed? Okay, we can disregard this item right here, but just reminding everybody that you cannot burn processed wood or non-vegetation. It has to be limbs and stuff. It cannot be any lumber or anything that's been processed in or man-made materials. Just a reminder of that. Okay, as far, I guess, this item still needs to be on here as far as they've not come in and got a business
No,
license.
they have not.
Okay. I don't even know what business they operate off of. Do they?
They've not turned in the new name. It's not what it was.
Okay. So basically, all other businesses that operate in town have bought business licenses
That are open.
that are open. So we got one that's open, and I went over and talked to them, and they came right over here, and anyway, they supposedly got the paperwork and never brought it back, so, you know, it's, you know, in our charter, it says that you have to have a business license to be operating a business in town limits. So, I guess the next step is to get, first step will be to get Jeff to write a letter to them, or somebody to write a letter to them telling them they're in violation of town ordinance and code. I mean, and it's only $50. I mean, you know, it's not, you know, it's gonna cost us more, but it's the principal thing that everybody else is complying and doing their part, and you got one person that's not, and, you know, like I say, for $50, if the town council wants to. So that's what I'm asking is, do y'all want to get Jeff to write a letter to that business, or the property owner, about a business license?
What's the other option?
I mean, you really have to cite them and bring them to court, is what.
So you would have to write a letter.
Well, you'd issue a citation. I mean, a letter would be kind of, I guess, more of a shake your finger warning.
Who would issue a citation?
Mayor or the clerk.
So you could issue a citation.
We'd
Right.
have to, we'd have
I mean,
to,
but I think,
we'd have to move forward with setting up our court.
right, But I
Which we
think-
probably need to do for situations like this.
but I think the first thing would be, you know, to common courtesy, you know, maybe getting Jeff to write a letter.
We can tell them what the potential,
Yeah,
the fines that are allowed are certainly far more than $50
yeah.
for violating it, so we could.
Well, then I make a motion that we write them a letter.
All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor? Okay.
Just send me the info. And
All right. So this next item is discuss items in the town charter. It's just informational. It's not nothing that we're changing or anything, but I think some people, you know, doesn't know about the charter or the duties of the town clerk or the role of mayor and how this works. So basically when, and Jeff can end on this, but basically the mayor is the spokesperson and the one that runs the day-to-day operation. When we have so many people going and talking to different departments, you know, DOT to Mike Sam's or any of those people right there, all they're doing is coming back to me anyway. I mean, so like I said, it creates confusion and everything. So, you know, like I said, that's the way our charter's set up, that the mayor, you know, handles the day-to-day operations and is the guy that does the signing and all the meetings and stuff, unless he designates somebody to do that. The town clerk duties is to assist in those as far as, you know, paperwork calling, setting up a meeting room, doing any kind of paperwork. She's done a phenomenal job that y'all might not think she has, but she has, and I want to remind everybody that this town would not be here today without her. Because, back years ago, back in 2000 or 99, somewhere around in there, NC Lau, 96, NC Lau, which was the mayor, was ready to fold this town up and do away with it. And Cheryl came in and stepped in and went toe-to-toe with Don Mullinax, which is the commissioner at the time, because it was only bringing in about $2,000 in a year. $1,700, okay, of tax dollars. And that didn't even cover the street lights. Now, so she fought with Don Mullinax, and she went and finagled and got contracts for police protection here, fire service, parks. She's got 2 grants for the park. But like I said, she fought and got money, and I think the first amount was 30 grand or 40 or somewhere around in there, maybe from the law.
The local option sales tax was the big thing.
Right, but that's what I'm talking about, the local sales tax. So she's strong-armed and everything to get this town going and to get money flowing in this town. She's applied for grants and got them. We got another grant last year that we couldn't even use because, we needed it, but we had the grant for redoing this building here, so we had to spend the money on it, so we had to give that, grant back because we just didn't have time. Also, as these people, now I keep telling y'all about people here, and you see the people here. I've got the people here that, likes the way this town, that I run it, likes what Cheryl does, and we're here to make a statement that, y'all came in here, I invited y'all in here and stuff, and y'all just keep on and on wanting stuff, and it's just, you gotta stop harassing Cheryl. I know at times she can be bullheaded and everything else, but I'm gonna tell you, she's had a lot on her plate this year. She had to deal with the flood, she had to deal with the American Plans Act here, and if anybody ever knows, and some of the volunteers here that's worked in the park can tell you, you gotta account for every little thing, whether you use a hoe, a rake, or whatever in that park, and she's gotta keep up with it to get our money back. So, I think y'all can give her a little bit of slack, and she is partial to this town because she's lived here, 50, 60 years, and she has put a lot of work into this, and I put a lot of work into this over the years.
With no pay.
And I'm gonna tell you, be honest with you, the reason I hadn't been coming down on weekends and stuff, I got tired of being harassed by everybody wanting something. So, and this group over here can tell you that I was here every daggone day on weekends working down here when nobody else would. And, and we called for volunteer days and stuff, and the only council members I seen down here was Andrea, Bug, and I know Melissa, she's had her issues or her own plate. But we had about 3 or 4 weekends. And we had more people outside this town volunteer than we did inside this town. So, we don't have a lot of money. And the way that we get things done is volunteering. And the way we get things done is working. And Mark Drizzle has given more to this town than anybody not to even live here. Me and him's worked many weekends. And he's brought his tractor up here. I've got people conned in to, Marshall Mullins loaned his traco for Bug to run, and we put in the water line and stuff. So things might not get done the way that you think they should be, or as quick as you think they could be. But I'm trying to save this town money. When I first took office, there was about 60 grand in this checking account. And before this flood thing, there was about 120. And y'all know that's for a fact because I've done all the work trying to save this town money. Jason, right there. He helped when this thing flooded. He helped tear out the ceiling and stuff, worked here. Went over there and tore out the new, the old playground equipment to get the new installed. He was down here every workday, him and his girlfriend, I guess just still girlfriend.
Yes, sir.
They're not engaged. But one of the things that he noticed was how many of the people in this town that actually lived here was there. There was more people outside of town than there was in. And Charlie has loaned his tractor. You know, I got Carver, can't think of his first name now, but he, in front of Bug's house, he fixed all that for free. You know, all we did was we provided the pipe and he fixed the drainage. So there's a lot going on. Huh?
David Schaus.
David Schaus brought his equipment down here and used it in the park for 2 days and didn't charge anything. So, you know, y'all can back off. I mean, I'll be honest with you, y'all can back off. Y'all can run y'all's businesses and be happy with what y'all got. And, you know, be honest with you, I'm regretting the day that I brought all this in here. Because I could have spent that $80,000 that we spent trying to get 2 more businesses in here. We could have paved 1 street or 2 streets with that money. So, you know, it's not easy running the town and trying to figure out where dollars go and where the most bang for the buck is. But, you know, y'all come from different areas and stuff, and y'all might have more money than we know. But this town does not have the money, or the people in this town doesn't have the money. But I'm telling you right now that, as you see in here, that the people are satisfied with what we're doing, and y'all need to lay off. Y'all need to be satisfied with what you got. And that's all I got to say about that, and we'll go on to Tony's letter that we received.
Excuse me.
No, we cannot. No.
I can't just ask a
No,
question?
you can't ask a question, I'm telling you, it's not the norm. Alright, so as far as addressing the letter, first item was town tables and chairs for the cinema fence. You know, as we met that day, I told you that I would bring it before the council and we would do what they said.
Absolutely not.
That's what we
You
said.
told me, I
No,
put
I
those
said we had-
hands up and I could have the tables and chairs.
I
I mean, you've since
I know-
told me
I
that
know
not to
all
believe
that.
anything you said, but that's what you
I
said
know.
that day.
So anyway, so that being said, the town attorney says that we cannot give property away without an auction or without disposing of it with an auction. Now, I told you that I would bring it before the council, and like I said,
Yeah,
our attorney.
after I did everything.
No, not after you did
Yes,
that. We sat
absolutely.
over there after a meeting.
Yeah,
But
you told
anyway,
me this, if I put
But
those
anyway,
hands
if
up, I
you'll-
could have the tables and chairs.
But
And I
if-
only want them because I'm worried about you 2 taking them away.
but
Because you
anyway,
obviously are very hostile to our business, and I'm worried that one day those tables just gonna be gone.
all right, order. All right, so basically, if you'll bring your receipts and stuff for the fans and stuff, the town will reimburse you for the town, or the table, the silver and the material. I mean, that's all I can do. We can't go against what,
We'd rather spend 3 times as much money than just give me them worthless tables and chairs.
well, I mean, that's law.
Jeff, will you please explain state law?
Then why couldn't we have just buy them for $1?
You can't, the town can't give anything away, and the town can't actually sell anything to an individual. The only way that a local government in Georgia can sell property is by selling it at an auction. You can give it to another town, you can give it to the county, you can trade things with another government. You're just not allowed, you can't just go sell something to somebody. If you were gonna sell a piece of land, you'd have to put it up for auction and sell it that way. And it unfortunately applies to even the tiniest piece of property.
Okay, so I guess we addressed that. So permanent electrical to the train guards. Like I said, you know, I hadn't been down here a whole lot, and I worked all winter, and then the flood came and stuff, and like I say, I've not got the same job as I had, but I tell you what, if the town will pay me, I will get them done by next Tuesday. But I, you know, like I say, other than that, you can do it at my leisure, or we can hire somebody to do it. But, you know, like I
But
say,
isn't that property the town's, and they're leasing it, the town, the cars?
the,
So the property is the town's. Doesn't the town have to provide the electricity or the adequate means to run their business? since
well,
they're
they,
leasing that
okay,
business?
so they have a temporary situation there. Now, like I said again, now Tony knows that we fought with Georgia Power for months of trying to get them to approve that, and I had to go over that head. So over his head, and his head to his boss, and I finally got that organized. Then he came back and didn't like something else. So then I had to change it. So I'll be honest with you, I have drugged my feet to that, and I'll be honest with you, I have. But, you know, like I say, I've got a lot on my plate too, and.
Yeah, I
You
don't
know.
know, I don't know if they're asking directly you as the mayor. It's a piece of property of the town's and they are leasing it from the town, yes?
The train car, yes.
Yes, so they're responsible to do anything that's related to the power?
No, the power's supposed to be brought to the train car.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, so
Right,
they're
right.
responsible? Okay.
Oh, well, no, the town is. The town's
Yes, sir,
responsible.
that's what
Okay,
I'm
so,
saying. Yeah,
so basically, he's got power from the town now. I run him a line over there to get him open
okay, and
while we was fighting with Georgia Power.
that's a permanent solution.
No, it's a temporary solution.
And so
But-
now, him as the business owner, he has to do
No,
what it is to.
no.
Yeah.
I've already got the
Right
wire,
now.
I've already got the wire over there.
Mhm.
So now I've got to finish up what Georgia Power is requiring to do
Yes, sir.
and run power to the tavern,
Okay.
you know, over there. So it is the town's responsibility. We said, we agreed that we would get power to them, to the inside, to their panel box.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing.
So how much do you want to do?
Well, the town will do the materials, the supply of the materials and everything. I'll do it for $800. Run his wire and finish up the orders and get everything done for Georgia Power. And have it done by next Tuesday. Or we can bid it out and you can find somebody to do it.
I mean, I'm fine.
If you wanna get somebody, that's fine. I'm not trying, but I'm tired of giving.
Well, you need to explain that new construction's not included.
Yeah, new construction is not included in this, maintenance. All I am is, maintain the properties and stuff and,
Well, I understand that. I mean, I thought we'd have to pay for it to begin with.
so anyway. So I do it for $800 and, town supplies the material, which will be about $600.
I'll
I
make a
mean,
motion that
Now, like I say, I'm
we
not
let you do it
trying,
for $800.
I'm not trying-
Material.
and I'm not trying to, you can get somebody else to go. We can do that. I ain't
As
trying.
long as you can do it and it gets approved by Georgia Power and gets hooked up, that's all we want. This
All right.
started last September of last
Right.
year is when I started trying to get this thing hooked up.
Well,
And it's almost a year.
But you understand that, we dealt for months with Georgia Power, and John Faust.
Well, no, you just gotta do what he wants.
No, because everybody else he was allowing everybody else. And that's what I proved to him.
I mean,
So anyway,
but it will, that $800 is gonna make sure it gets hooked up.
Yeah.
John Faust comes and says that you didn't do it right or whatever.
yes, it will be hooked up. There ain't nothing,
Is the wire already running?
no, I gotta run the wire to the tavern.
Oh, we run from the pole all the way to the tavern already?
Yeah, no, we just run the conduit.
No, the wire's
I'll
in
put
it.
wire in the,
Wire's
Well,
in.
right, wire in to him, but the
Yeah.
tavern, the wire's not in.
no, it's not in there. Okay.
You made a motion on that. Did you need a motion on that?
All right, we got a motion, to pay me $800 to hook up the power and the town furnace materials.
Is that the total cost
Well, $800.
Plus material.
plus material?
Yeah,
But you can get
So
the, you
wait.
gotta do meter bases, you know, they'll give them to you for free.
No, the meter base out there is good. Everything out there is good.
So what is all that gonna be? Like, the wire is running already to his, that's just for the other one,
Yeah.
taverns?
Mm,
So it can be more than 800.
No.
800 is the total.
800 plus
That's
material.
that's
800
Plus
labor.
material.
Plus material.
What's the material?
800 labor.
It
I'm
could go
concerned
up.
with the tavern.
Well, like your wire going to your tavern, it's gotta go, you don't have that.
Right, that's what I'm saying, that's what the
Yeah,
material
but
is.
you told me you talked to the power company, GPL, whatever it is, prior, and they
Well-
said it needed a new meter or something?
No, well, we got it.
As long as that's all gonna be good, yeah, I'm down with it. I'll second it, because I own the tavern.
Right, yeah. We don't have any. All right, so, do I have a motion? Do we have a second?
I second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Okay, painting the bathrooms. Well, like I said again, you know, we have to, this is another item, that we have to operate in a budget. And like I say, we've spent 45,000 right now for the park. The truck needs, town truck needs tires, one blew out. We're trying to get by until next year, but when we went and got the blocks for the building, it blew out. So we're gonna have to have a set of tires. We had discussed painting the doors, we already figured that out. Like I say, it's on the agenda, to do. I mean, unless you wanna volunteer to paint.
I'll paint them.
Well, we can paint them,
I'll paint them.
we just told we can't do anything without approval. But,
Who said that?
I mean, the thing is, the doors are starting to fall apart, they're all mildewy, stuff swelling, I mean, we're gonna be replacing stuff if it doesn't get painted.
JORDANSAPP.
Like I said again, all right, so I'll go ahead and get some estimates on painting the building and the doors.
And what about the color?
We was gonna leave it the natural color it is, I mean, you know, just, and then the doors be red, just like the
So just put
roof.
polyurethane
Yeah.
on the wood.
Randy, this gentleman had offered the payment. You want to ask him what he would charge for that?
Well, I asked him, okay, as far as parking, you know, fixing those parking places and stuff is gonna be used out of this, American Rescue Act. We think we can, but we're not 100% sure because of tourism. We're waiting on the go-ahead to say, you know, we can spend the money for that. And so that's the hold up on there. That's why I said all at the beginning that we would use this money that we got from there to do that with. Like I say, we're at the mercy. I mean, you know, government, there's so much red tape and stuff that just, it doesn't go.
Well,
by.
what they've done with this is they said we could have the money, and then they sent out, and I watched some webinars, and the webinars didn't even address what we needed. All they were talking about was broadband. But every time they would send me something, they'd say, well, now, don't take this to the bank, because it's probably gonna change. And they told me that by July 15th, we would have it. We still don't have it locked down. So they've given us an idea of what we can spend it on, and tourism is one of them. So I'm hoping that that's gonna follow through. I did the LMIG grant, which is Local Maintenance Improvement Grant from DOT. When I first filled it out, I thought that we could, well, I first thought that Randy and I both first thought that we could do the pedestrian crosswalk. No, they kicked it back. It has to be on a local road. It cannot be anything that attaches to a state highway. So then I wrote it and sent it back, trying to get them to approve doing the parking area back here. Well, they wouldn't approve that, so they sent it back again. And so what we finally ended up getting them to approve was fixing the drainage ditch up Old Blairsville Highway. And we got them to approve because it was gonna cost more than what we got last year. They agreed to let us combine 2020 and 2021 together so that we would have enough to do the ditch.
Now what part, but we can still park behind the park?
Behind the park.
Yeah, isn't that where you used to park for Heritage Days?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So we can still do that, and maybe under this, the sycamore tree?
I mean, yeah, I mean, anybody can do that.
For the
As long as you
money,
don't-
you're just talking about for Second Street.
Yeah. And also, you've got to be careful of parking over here because you cannot block the site of the train at the stop. You know, the little white mark on the road there by the crossing. They've got to be able to see up and down both sides of the track. Because when I talked to them before, they said that their concern was, you know, a big truck sitting there, you know, like a jacked up truck or something, blocking the train tracks where they cannot see, you know, somebody pulling up to the stop there, seeing a train come through.
Did you guys park there last year where the tree is?
No, not, I mean.
So we just have to put some cones to maybe to keep
Yeah.
people away?
Yeah.
So at the worst, we'll have that. We just won't have, maybe won't have anything on Second Street.
Right,
Because that's the only thing that's really costing money.
correct.
Well, now we can use behind the schoolhouse for handicap. We usually do that. We usually save that back there.
In the grass, maybe?
Okay, so the next item, Shadow Creek concerns grade. And I just remembered this, that I saw Mark over there after we was working on the bathrooms, tying those in or something over there. I can't remember when he had his tractor up there. But I saw Mark over there working, Mark Griffin, in front of Shadow Creek with his tractor, you know, grading that out. Now, was that not a fact? Sometime this year that he did that?
He did that
Okay, so-
first of the year.
So, so
He did what he
anyway,
could.
alright, so anyway, so it was not like we didn't address the issue and I heard anything about it. So you contacted DOT about that. DOT and some others says because it's gravel and everybody parks over there, that all that's gonna be back. You can't be parking on it. Once you fix something and it's gonna have to be fixed and deep enough to channel the water, you just can't park on it because it moves the gravel and stuff and stops the back up.
That's what they told me.
Well, anyway, like I said, I'm just telling you what I was told. The lot. So Shadow Creek came to this council and wanted to live in a business district. And they wanted to live above their store, so I approached this council. And because, you know, it was against our ordinances for them to live above their store. So I came to this council and I convinced y'all to allow them to stay there. And I, you know, give them pretty much everything asked as far as the chicken stand, as far as the fence on the back street, you know, against the right of way. I mean, we pretty much give in to everything. They done a couple things, I think already had them done and done. So, you know, as James said one time before about one person complaining, you know, does that, well, yeah, are we gonna start each time? Some people have asked, can I put a blind in? Because we have to make sure that people on that deck can see, and in the parking area, see how to move around and stuff. So we bought the light and put it up, but they're complaining about the light shining in their bedroom. So if the council wants to buy another light, put a different one on, that's up to them. but you're opening up a can of worms because everybody can complain about anything. I mean, you know, so I mean, you know, you just gotta say what's enough, you know. So I'll leave that up to y'all if y'all wanna vote to change the light or buy them, you know, a blind or
They would
what.
change the light.
Was that?
I think they would change the light.
Well, I mean, here again, you know, they agreed to live above the store in a business district, and you know,
Right. And a lot of things happen in the business district that seems to not make people happy around here.
well, like I said, I mean, you know, so,
Well, I just thought it was a simple thing.
okay. On to the brewery rent. We've not seen any receipts or anything on the interior of the car or anything, I mean, as far as materials and stuff that you,
And I know that, I don't think you saw my email, because you never responded to it, but I sent saying I was gonna have something on the second week of August, because I'm still actively doing stuff over there, and I have some pictures, if anybody cares to see, that it's flooded so much in there, even after repeatedly asking for that to be taken care of. This is what it looks like every time it rains. It's been doing that since last September when I first told you. This is the room where we store all the beer and everything. So we're probably gonna have to rip all that out at this point. I've got somebody taking care of the roof now, but can't have all the receipts until I get all the work done.
okay. All right. But, you know, like I said, I contacted a couple people, and we have one person that's supposed to come and spray it, and never did show up. So, I mean, you know, I'm glad you finally found somebody, so we'll table that to the next. But, you know, I just also want to remind that, you know, things that people have not done, and like I say, I've not done some things too, but, you know, it was in the minutes that you was gonna build that deck, and
And I said I would. You told me you had it taken care of.
well, I
and
know
didn't
you
have to.
kept on, but anyway, so
I
we
didn't
had
never
to.
say I wasn't gonna build a deck.
Well,
You said I got it taken care of, don't worry about it.
No, we
Back
talked
when you
about
talked to me.
it. So anyway, so like I say, that cost the town $7,200, so anyway. So that's all of the agenda. We'll give each person maybe 2 minutes, or not each person, because remind that Jeff's here, he charges $125 an hour. So that's what I always like to remind y'all. But I'll allow the.
And I charge y'all less than other cities.
Yeah, oh, well, I mean, I know, you know. So I'm gonna give the town residents, first chance of, you know, I don't know what's normal. Speaking time, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, I mean, what?
2 to 5.
All right, so 3 minutes. Any town residents or, town residents first. That's why I said town
All right.
residents.
So like
Okay,
business
so
owners gonna have a chance as well, or?
Steve?
I will buy and install a replacement light in the bathroom with approval or fixture for the city council or Mr. Mayor.
Like I say, I just don't think we need to start that. I mean, I think, you know, unless the council wants to agree to it, but I think, you know, y'all agree to live there and everything, and you can buy a blind. I mean, that's what some people have said, that you can buy a blind to cover up your bedroom.
That's what I had to do.
So, I mean, we got street lights, you know, down the, you know, all up and down the street. Any other?
It's just the way that light was set up. And it had happened before in different situations here in town where somebody put up a light and shined it up into Kegel's house. And that I understand now that I see that light fixture is no longer there where it used to be.
Because it
But
got
I
replaced.
just
I mean,
wanted,
the Georgia Fire Company replaced it. We
Okay.
didn't replace
whatever. I just said, I will buy the light fixture and replace it, an approved item to take care of that problem. So you don't have to get involved in it anymore.
But it's gotta be broad enough to be safe.
Well, like I say, I mean, we'll discuss that. Any
Just
other,
offering.
any other,
At this time, no.
okay. Okay,
Are you a certified electrician?
No.
I'm just asking.
I own my own company, yes, I own my own
But are you
company.
a certified electrician?
I worked under a certified electrician, and Larry Keener,
No, but are you?
no,
Okay, that's what I wanted.
all right.
But you do have your maintenance degree, which
All right,
includes
so-
that.
All right, any other town resident?
I have a question.
Resident first, hold on.
He is
I'm
a
a town
resident.
Oh, is it, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know, I mean,
Yeah, I know. Since Talking Rock Brewery has moved to town, have we seen any spike in revenue as far
No.
as the town goes?
no. No, not as far as the town itself goes.
But no, I'm talking.
No, I mean, no, we have not
People coming
received.
through, people,
It's
you know.
been a lot
it's
busier.
been- it's-
Well, I mean, it might have
So
been,
you mean
but
to
as
say
far as,
there's as many people now coming through, hanging around, you know,
well, and I,
as there was a year ago?
let me,
And you get
Like-
excise tax for
Well,
the
let-
beer we sell.
well,
So,
let me tell you
there's that, that's money.
this, you know, and like I've told y'all before, you know, the town was, you know, townspeople wants to be left alone. I mean, pretty much. And I brought it in, I shouldn't have brought it in. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I shouldn't. I should have let those trains sit over there because, you know, like I say, but the town residents in this town here, I'm not talking about the Meadowlands. If you live in the Meadowlands, I'm talking about downtown. You know, the people likes the peace and quiet, and they want to be left alone. They want this town not to change a whole lot.
I've seen him
Yeah.
at the brewery almost every day I've
So-
been there, and he likes it. And he
Well,
lives right
I'm
across
telling
the
you,
street,
but-
he's a town
yeah.
resident.
and there's other
So,
ones too, the
like I said, the
same.
town, there's a lot of them
We can
that
walk
live
to
right
the
here, we
brewery.
can
No,
walk.
you're-
Not residents.
They can
Alright.
walk to the brewery.
All right. So, basically, it's y'all are talking about town residents, and you're getting confused because people like Jason and Heather there, they're in Talking Rock, but they are not inside city limits. There's a lot of people that's that way.
But you just
So,
told me that I couldn't
but-
talk because it wasn't a town resident. We were talking about town residents. He lives in town, he
Right.
lives 100 yards that way, and he's been at the brewery all the time, and I see him, and he likes it.
Yeah, but
So-
there's a lot of people that does not like what I've done.
So the other 6 people that live around here.
The other 6 people, there's more than that.
Excuse me?
From
It
right
got me
there,
now.
from right there to right there.
Okay.
The guy who lives right in
3
front of
minutes.
you comes
3
here.
minutes is up. Any other resident?
Where's the timer?
I
Any
want to
other res-
speak as a resident, please.
No, you're not.
I'll speak as a resident.
Okay,
Honestly, there's a lot of drama going on here. I bought a house up, right up the street, 150, 300 yards maybe. I'm doing the tavern with my partner Layton. When all this come about, it's a gift. You guys have a great town. I moved here. I plan on contributing to the town. There's too much petty drama. This is ridiculous. That I come here, Cheryl's helped me personally, Randy's helped me personally. Mary and Tony have done, they brought their business here. It's gonna be such a good little thing where if, Steve wants a new light, I'll buy the new light. If that's bothering him that much, it shouldn't be an issue.
Right.
I will,
Well,
there's
but-
too much cross ping
well,
pong
the thing
crap
about it
here.
is, that somebody last month or a month before, was complaining about the music.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, and then there's a couple of residents complaining about parking on Main Street. They can't see how to pull out of Walnut Street.
I think that was before their tavern, before their brewery opened, honestly.
Right, well, I mean, it's not even the brewery's
Yeah,
issue.
it's not there.
But the thing of it is are we gonna address each and every one of the complaints and fold in to each and every one of them? Or are we gonna let everybody say, get your daggum panties up and
Yeah,
daggum.
pull your
just
big boy
quit
pants up and
daggum-
let's roll.
Let's roll.
You know, when
Let
I was
that be
here at the
on.
first meeting,
You know, that's my
I
point.
said,
That's
with
my
Leighton
point.
was here, I said, I don't need to, I'm gonna put $100,000 in that train car, everybody sees
No.
it. And it's, yeah, I don't want free rent for 15 years on behalf of the town, I wanna donate. I said, okay, I want this thing to prosper. And obviously, everybody wants parking, that's standard practice, you know?
But,
Sound ordinance, if somebody's complaining about that, okay, there's gotta be a legitimate sound ordinance, that's what I told Tony earlier this afternoon. I said, there's gotta be something when, and we're not those people that are like from New York that are saying, oh my God, we're coming to Florida, this bagel sucks, you know? Whatever the rules are, that's what we wanna abide by. We don't wanna be, any music going on at midnight if it's not even allowed, like, nobody wants that. The fact of the matter is, if everybody can just get along a little bit, like I said, everybody here has been so cool to me on the opposite side of everything. It shouldn't have this no light, no electric, whatever the heck it is. It's just become too dramatic for me. But I think everybody should be happy, the business owner next to me, as well as ourselves and the town. It's gonna help everybody out. But I think some things should be renegotiated and defined. To vet where parking is, the terms, you know, music, lights, whatever. I don't see a problem with a light there on the bathroom, and as long as someone is not gonna hurt themselves, whatever.
well, but the thing about it is, that's the whole thing. I met with all the
Setting
store,
precedents.
I met with all the store owners here a couple months ago and tried to reason with them and tell them that I had my plate full. We had the flood, everything else, and I had too many projects and I couldn't take on any other projects till the end of the year.
And I personally told you, I've never seen a mayor
Yeah.
do more in my life.
So,
It's
so.
above and beyond, I think, personally.
Right.
Yeah.
So like I said, I mean, you know, all I'm asking is y'all be grateful for what you got and quit daggum just nitpicking and stuff.
I think
You know,
everybody's
You know,
willing to
and,
do that at
and,
this point.
you know, the parking issue, you know, everybody's driving by parking on the main street, and I tell you what, there's at least 3 to 4 business owners parking on Main Street that could park on Back Street or somewhere else. And then the brewery the same way. I mean, you could park somewhere else to give your patrons more parking. Now, that's just what I'm saying.
No, I fully
But,
agree.
you know, but, like I said, you know, not to say anything against any of y'all, but Mark Grizzle has not asked for one thing out of this town, not one. And he has put more money in this. He's redid the hat house, Moose Annie's, he redone this house over here. He's the one that got, him and NC got it started back again, you know, the stores. So what I'm asking y'all is, y'all are, I hate to use this term as outsiders, y'all need to understand how this little town, you know, works. You know, and be thankful for what you've got.
And I'm compliant with that.
You know.
100%. That
So like I
me and
say,
Leighton
I'm
got
trying to
together
do
when, you know, Joel and Rhoda sold me that house. And
I'm
we
trying
sold our
to do the
businesses
best I
there.
can.
And I said it was a gift. I said, "No, I don't need free rent for 15 years, dude, because I'm gonna put $100,000 into a train
So,
car."
you know,
That, I think what we agreed upon at the first meeting was perfect. I think everybody should be on the same page and everybody just kind of work together at this point before, who knows? Like I said, this is a little bit too dramatic for
well, and
what's
it
going
is.
on here.
Yeah.
It's dramatic.
I'm willing to help out
I'm
with
trying to figure out what we're
anything
asking
anybody
for all
wants.
the time, because I still haven't figured it out. Why don't you give me some insight in what we're asking for all the time?
Well, you're asking for the,
The electricity, the
No,
roof
no,
not to
no,
leak.
hold on,
I know, that's
no, no,
outrageous,
no.
outrageous. For a year now, I've been asking for that.
Quite honestly,
That's the only thing I've asked for.
I'm saying that you've asked to redo that over there.
And I told you I was gonna do it on my own dime. I was
Right,
gonna
but
pay
they-
for it.
But they didn't want it though.
But
The
that's
town didn't
fine,
want-
then I won't do it.
So that's what I'm saying.
Did that stress
That's
you
what
out
I'm
that I
asking.
asked to do something
What?
to improve the community and they didn't want it? Did that stress you out?
What I'm asking y'all to do is y'all to be content and happy with what you've got, and let's move on with this, and then grow into this, and let the townspeople.
Again, what did we ask for? You keep telling everybody that we keep asking for stuff. I wanna know what it is.
Well, Tony, I honestly tried to approach you about this, and I know exactly what it is in certain instances, because we're gonna be your partner. We talked today, and the fact of the matter is, I kinda think what's boiling up here with what's going on, like I told you about those tables, like, who cares? Fans, I don't get it. I'm spending all of our money making our stuff right. And when I was away, when I personally told you and Mary, I said, listen, I'm never gonna do draft beer, I don't care. Let's back up. A month and a half before that, when I went to Florida, you asked my contractor to make a ramp out of the end of my deck that I designed and paid for and the whole nine. And so you could apparently drive kegs from this supposed storage shed that we're gonna get, well, who knows if we're ever gonna get it. And I had said, well, because you went to Randy with it. And my contractor come to me and I said, wait a minute, that's ridiculous, dude. I'm paying you. I
never
don't.
asked him to build a ramp.
Well, that's what.
I told him if he would leave off one section that we would build a ramp if the storage buildings were gonna be there, because I had to have a way to get to them.
Okay, I'm just telling you, listen, if you're gonna listen to me, I'm gonna tell you what's come across here, which I know when it boiled over, that it seemed a little bit absurd that everything went down. And then when I was on my last vacation, a month and a half ago, somebody called me and said, texted me, and said you wanted me to sign an addendum that I'm not gonna serve draft beer. When I told you personally, I'm never gonna sell draft beer in my life. I hate draft beer. Nothing, brewery beer is a totally different thing.
I didn't know you, and draft beer would kill us, so.
You knew me for 3 months already, almost 4, while I was building it.
Yeah, so you.
But what, I mean, I can tell you where, you said you never asked for anything, and now that I'm reading into this, what's going on here, I know what's been asked for.
You consider me asking something that was promised that wouldn't happen over there to begin with?
Draft beer?
No, it was promised that there wouldn't be any alcohol over there to begin with. That happened. Not anything to do with you, but when you came in here and did that, yes, we were very concerned that you would have draft beer over there. So yes, you can say that, no, I'm not gonna have draft beer, but if something happens over there and you're like, the liquor's not selling, I'm gonna start selling some draft beer over there. There's nothing we can do about it.
You'll see me jump off that bridge with a rope. But the
Well,
fact
yeah,
of the
that
matter
may be
is,
the fact, Greg, but you know, I met you like 3 times at that point.
okay.
I mean, we barely talked. We probably talked
You
for
were
a
worried
total
about
10 minutes.
everything I was doing. And now what I'm telling you now is the same exact scenario. I'm still not gonna do draft beer, but that might have been one of the things that pushed people over the edge, maybe Randy or whatever this miscommunication's about, and I call it drama personally. I'm not gonna do that, ever. I am gonna do a couple bottled beers, but I personally told you and your wife, and that was the one prior to that I'm gonna try to price it to where your brewery beer is. That's, you know.
Actually, you said that you would only do 16-ounce cans and you would price it our cheapest beer.
I said I was gonna try to go ounce for ounce for you via that, but after the whole sign an affidavit for the draft beer thing, that's literally not gonna happen, but it's not going to affect you. It really isn't. You're gonna see, everybody here is gonna see the town
You didn't
go,
have to do it.
boom. Yeah, because we're basically partners.
But I don't even see why, did it hurt your feelings? I'm sorry.
It didn't hurt mine. Yeah, well, yeah, actually, it was the fourth thing that was communicated via when you had my number or Mary had my number, where apparently people got upset about it when the last one was the affidavit or whatever it's called, addendum to my lease. For not serving draft beer. That's ridiculous,
and they said that's all you could do.
I'm never gonna serve draft beer, I'll tell you that, Melly. He opened a bar 11 years ago, and I said, what are you doing with draft beer? I'm never doing that in my life. Obviously, brewery beer is different.
I say craft beer.
Well, it was communicated draft. Now see, there's a little miscommunication. It totally
Wouldn't have been, if you had
possible.
something to sign, though, would have been.
Never gonna happen. I told him that.
Communications.
Yeah, you got my number, anything you wanna ask me, that's what I'm saying. I just see things boiling up a little bit that are just irrelevant.
Alright, let's move on. Alright, so basically, let's let Oliver talk for.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean, you know, like the only thing that I was going to say is, Greg, I mean, I think you're completely right. I mean, like this has gotten to this point where this drama has boiled over to where I don't really understand like what happened that like fractured this entire like partnership that we were supposed to have with you guys. So the only thing that I'm saying, hold on, the only thing I'm saying, all right, is that you know, like gave your speech about how like the business owners here just need to be happy and we need to just appreciate what we got. And that's fine, and I think everybody here is thankful for being in this town. Like, we're all here for a reason. But, like, the fact of the matter is, like, you don't own the town, like, nobody owns the town, right? So, yeah, I mean, like, the only thing that we're asking is that we have a lease. All we're asking is that the terms of the lease be held up. I mean, we've been in here for 8 months. So, you know, I mean, like, with all due respect, I mean, like, did take exception to the fact that you're gonna sit there and say that we need to be happy with what we have, but this is our livelihood.
Well, I understand that.
And that's where what you said didn't really sit well with me. Because the fact of the matter is, like, we've offered to do a lot of things that lease says that we're not responsible for doing. At the end of the day, it's my understanding that you guys are responsible for maintaining the exterior of that building and getting all of that power hooked up. The fact of the matter is, I understand that you're busy, and I understand that you have a lot going on, but that doesn't change the fact that there is not permanent power or a roof over that train car, and we've been working on it since 2019. So all I'm saying is that, yes, I am very thankful for what you've done, and I'm very thankful for what this town's done, but the fact of the matter is that train's our livelihood, and the only thing we're asking is that you uphold the end terms of that lease and get it built, and get it to where it's ready for us to be in there where we don't have these issues, and honestly, I don't think that's too much to ask for. So, you know, with that said, I mean, like, I just really, you know, I do take exception to the fact that you're acting like we're asking for the world. Like, we pay the power here.
Well, you're the one that's using
We
it.
pay the power for the town across the street, we pay the power for Greg, we pay all of it, we do all the water.
And Greg, don't get me wrong, so we have no
Thanks for paying my power.
issue doing it, but you're acting like we don't do anything around here.
Yep, sure.
We don't have anything over there.
You got the whole pavilion, is that our pavilion? Never mind.
The one that you-
We
Get it over to us and we will not be paying your power anymore, we'll be paying ours.
Okay, the only thing that's on there, over there, is the bathrooms and you. That's the only thing that's used as
And the lights
water.
on the
No, we
pavilion,
have
which
people in
is
that
what
pavilion
you.
all the time that don't come in that brewery.
Look, that's fine,
There
like,
are
I'm
a lot of
not
people that
trying to
don't
go
do
down a wormhole here with saying, you know, this,
Okay.
this, and this, like, that's not what
All
I'm
right,
doing.
so,
The town can put the
I
pavilion
mean,
up.
like,
alright,
alright, well,
so,
you heard me.
so like I said, here again, you know, you're saying that you're bringing people in, and then you're saying people's using the pavilion that's not,
And they are.
so then that could be true. You know, but-
They come listen to our music, we do it for the town, they don't have to come in here and buy our
Business
beer,
owners here.
it's the town.
Anyway,
That's the
I'm just sick of you telling everybody that we keep
Okay.
asking for stuff, and I can't figure out what it is, and you can't even tell me.
alright,
All right, so, I don't even know where to start with all this, but I've come to Talking Rock here. Greg moved up from Florida because I have a place in Ball Ground. We were gonna do a place there. I've had 3 bars for 20 years. Come up here. There's a few different scenarios that are going on here that I've already personally been through on a really large level with, you know, hundreds of thousands of residents rather than, you know, so, but it still becomes somewhat the same. It doesn't matter if there's 100 or 10,000. There's things that end up multi-use, like when you got the business and addressing you give somebody the right to, or the option to live above their business, then they complain about your business. So that's always going to cause a problem. So I would say that I've been all the way to the highest levels with the government and as a private owner of businesses, to where we ended up having to work things out. Some are still not resolved with a $150 million complex where I'm from. So they're still going at it, right? Mm-hmm. So some of these rules need to be laid down. Now that being said, it's unfortunate that the mayor of this community in this town would give approval for these train cars to become something, and then he has to regret it, right? So this gentleman here asked a question. Since the Talking Rock Brewery is open, has it increased anything for the town? And the answer is what? No. Might have increased traffic, it might have increased parking, maybe you gotta flush the toilet more, but it has not helped the town. It has not helped the town in any way, right? That's what I was told, that's what I heard. Money-wise.
Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm asking, no, you asked the question.
What?
No, this is what was said,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So, and I don't know, but as far as I know what you guys have said, that has not helped. So, I think when Tony here is asking, why are you saying I'm just asking? It's because, from what I can see, at this point, the town hasn't gotten anything, they've only put out, right? And then, this was just brought up about the power, and Greg said, thanks for paying our power. Well, your lease was kind of dicey to begin with, so I think you benefited from the way that this lease was put together. But, so, here in Talking Rock, Greg buys a house, I'm up here now, and we're spending a whole bunch of money, but it's not about the money, really. It's not, because we could do this in a lot of places. And I've done this in my other places that I've had, is we do want the community to, and there's no reason for us to be here just to take. We want to give back to the town. We want to somehow, however that's going to be with improvements, however it is, we're going to, because when we open, we're going to be nothing but a benefit, because there's no way I could survive on what I see over at this brewery. Like, that's like 2 days a week, a couple hundred people, like that's just not. So they're going to fully benefit from me personally being here and from Greg. I mean, that's going to be nothing but a giant benefit for them. So, talking about beer and draft and this and that and the other thing, you will quadruple the amount of people here from what we're going to do. And we're just trying to, we just want to get along with everyone. We're really easygoing until
We think everyone else should get along.
it just get along together here, because we should all be on the same page with the same, directive, and that's to bring improvement to the town and not be selfish, because I know what a lease would normally go for where I'm from, or a building that I've owned, it's 10 grand, 12 grand, $15,000 a month. A month. So to nitpick about a few $100s here and there is just kind of annoying to me, but that's fine, you guys can all deal with that, but you are not going to get that from us. We're just trying to get along here.
I think we're on record when Leighton joined the force here, that I said it was too much. I said,
think
I'll take a 1 year free from the grand opening.
There's a whole lot of, seems like personal going at Randy the mayor and things like this, and it just seems a little odd to me, because I don't see that he's done anything with malicious intent.
I'm sorry, I would agree with you on a lot of this, but,
You're talking facts, but I don't know, if you want to. We can go back.
the only thing I'm saying, we've offered to do the power, so we've offered to put the money.
Right, but there's regulations in government, and
No, but we've
sometimes their
offered to
hands are
get a
tied.
licensed contractor to come in and get into the power situation hooked up, we've offered to do that.
There's no, Oliver, not even to interrupt you, I'm just saying, I think everybody should just get on the same
Yeah, I
damn
agree,
page.
that's what I was saying.
Trust me.
Get on the same page.
Everybody's been real happy in about 6 months.
Alright.
That's all for now.
So y'all were gonna pay, y'all was gonna pay for have the elected back.
I didn't say that.
Well, that's what Oliver
That's what I
just
just
He didn't
said.
say we were gonna pay for it, he said we would either get somebody to do it or something.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
like,
we offered to get somebody to do it, get it
You don't
done.
think we offered to do it?
You offered to call somebody to pay probably
20
3
minutes
times more
ago,
than he's gonna
20
charge.
minutes ago, Randy said he would do it for 800, you guys voted it in.
For it. But we could have paid for it. I offered last month.
Yeah, I'm talking about.
I offered it to you. You rejected it.
Okay.
I didn't say I was gonna pay for it or not. I just said, do you want me to take care of it? And you said, I got somebody else doing it. No, don't worry
Alright, well,
about it.
let's, alright, so we've run out of time.
And I do have that, text message, by the way, in case you need to remind yourself, that I did offer last month to take care of that electrical and you told me not to.
It's unfortunate that you have to regret bringing people in like that. I'm sorry to see it.
Randy, I would like to say something about
No,
this.
we're gonna adjourn, because we're paying Jeff $125 an hour. And we already been here, and I.
Well, I have one question for Jeff.
What time did you start,
Please.
Jeff?
I'll pay it for Sarah's comment.
Your meetings still aren't as long as Nelson's.
Yeah, but
Jeff, is it not the mayor and the clerk's responsibility to make sure that the town is in compliance with all state regulations, and that all the ordinances and rules and regulations that are passed by the town are enforced.
So that is generally the duty of the mayor, and whoever he can get to do it for him and delegate it to.
Right.
Which, in a town that has one employee, is usually that employee.
Yeah.
That's you.
Well, like I said again, I've had a lot on my plate, and I tried to ask y'all to just to let me do these projects, and we start over again next year. Now, I do agree that your leaks in there, but I talked to several people and never gotten anything back. I mean, so it wasn't that I didn't try to find somebody. But anyway, they just didn't. But all this other little stuff about the lights and everything else, I mean, it just needs to go away. I mean, and that's what I'm saying is y'all need to be content, because everybody's going to complain. I mean, complain about, traffic, noise, light, so-and-so's looking, so-and-so's selling something. I mean, it goes on and on and on. And basically that's what I was getting with that from everybody, is that, everybody was saying, and they might not tell you and they might not tell you, but I was getting it from everybody saying, well, so-and-so over here, it's just like a bunch of little kids coming to me. And that's what I'm saying is y'all chill and just, handle it. If it's not life and death, or if it's not causing you bodily harm, y'all need to live with it. That's what I'm saying, is live with it. Because I'm telling you what, I have worked and worked, and Mark, I aim over you. You asked me one time about Saturday, and this is open to anybody here. Anybody here. Any Saturday you want to work, all you got to do is call me, and I'll come down here and work with you. That's all you got to do is call. But stop you complaining unless you want to volunteer your time, like I have, like Jason has. Every time I've had a work day or called him, he's came down here and helped this town that don't even live here. And, that's my thing, is, you need to, if y'all are going to be part of it, and I know y'all got lives too, but my life has been this town for the last 20-something years, and I take it personally. I take it personally. So yes, I take it personally. Because I brought this town up. I redid this right here. I've worked for the town. I've saved them town money, and I've got money from the town. So what I'm saying is I put a lot of sweat and equity in this town. So what I'm saying is I've saved it, I've worked, and I've got volunteers, I've finagled, and I've got people to work for free. I've got equipment borrowed and everything else. So before you start hammering Cheryl or anybody else here, you put a year in volunteering. I want to see y'all down here volunteering. At the park, have you volunteered? I mean, no, you haven't.
No.
So that's what I'm saying.
So, Randy, I'm asking you something right now. Why do you have hard feeling for me?
Well, it's not hard feeling.
I want you to see, you can do that. You can do that to Tony, but you're not going to do that to me. You tell me exactly what I've done. I've looked at these financials, and the numbers don't add up. You're the mayor of this town, and it doesn't add up. You can hammer that thing all you want. That is the real deal. So that's what's my problem with you. And you're trying to designate and say that we've got an issue with it. You've done too many handshakes, and now it's caught up with you. That's what your problem is. That is what your real problem is. You never bring up crap for businesses or for the meetings each month. You say your things, and then when it comes push to shove, you don't finish what you said that you were going to do. I was there when you said those things, and now you're trying to back out and you try to bring in the lawyer to say you can't do this. You said you were giving them those tables. You did. You exactly said it. Just agree that you said it.
Yes,
then you were wrong. Then say it. Tell the town you were wrong.
I done told you I was wrong.
Oh shit, I didn't.
That's all right.
No, I didn't. I heard you say you never told me that.
And nobody's trying to get you under. The math doesn't add up. I'm asking you to get the bank statements.
Well, then, when do you want to sit down with me and I'll show them
Get the bank statements, bring
When do
the
you,
bank.
when do you
Set it
want
up.
me in
Bring
my
the bank
office?
statements and we go
You
line
tell
by
me and I'll
line.
be
Do
here.
a town meeting. I'm telling you, you've cheated this town long enough. You do shit.
Do what?
Yes.
I have never, ever, and I can show you that it's balanced, buddy.
This time next year, you guys will not be a part of this. That's a fact. Neither one of you. You
Really?
won't be the clerk. You're not gonna be the mayor. That's a fact.
I'm sorry, but he's got 2 more years, mister. How you gonna throw him out?
Hey, last question, where was the, sign?
There's a lot of shady stuff going on here. Randy, you know it. You know it.
Where were we told?
Then why doesn't the math add up? Why doesn't the math add up?
About it.
Show me
You guys need to
what's
say something
wrong.
about it. You're the town. Ask for the bank statements. Only Cheryl and Randy have access to it.
All you have to do is ask me and I'll show them to you,
You
James.
get so defensive about it.
Because I'm not taking any money from this town. Never.